Hey, rockers! Welcome back to the channel, man. It is, God, I don't know what night of the week it is. Isn't that pathetic? I really don't. Anyway, thanks for being here, man. It's day 3 of antibiotics for this guy. And yeah, thank you, Joey, and some other people that gave me some good advice for more holistic health. I will take that into consideration the next time before I do antibiotics. But hey, it's starting to clear up, maybe 30% so far. Definitely low energy, definitely lethargic lately, can't breathe real well, and I noticed it's affected my memory. Yeah, not that I didn't have a little cuckoo going on already, but lately when I start to do these stories, man, stuff just pops out of my head instead of in like it's supposed to. But anyway, we're going to go back to the year 1991, May of 1991. I don't know the exact date, but it was a great show with Bobby Steele and the Undead. That's right, at the Gallery in Normal, Illinois. I was a punk rocker at the time in a band called Bloody Mess and the Scabs. Very much into the Misfits, still am. Very much into the Undead, still am. And, yeah, I got to interview Bobby Steele, by the way, in 2017. And you can find that interview on my other channel, The Church of Rock, all one word. Yeah, Bobby Steele 2017 Church of Rock interview. It was actually pretty good until I started talking about the Misfits. Didn't really want to talk about that. And then when I brought up the fact that he one time vomited on the feet of John Lennon, he didn't really want to talk about that either. But that happened on that talk, and yeah, check it out if you want. Thanks for being here. Please subscribe to my channel, give it a like, a thumbs up, and maybe leave a comment. So Bobby Steele, right? The Undead. I'm sure many of you are fans. These guys, badass. Yep, Bobby Steele's got an attitude, but he's a punk rocker. I like him. He's been around forever. He was born in 1956. When I saw them play, it was Bobby doing the vocals and guitar, Rich Presley on the bass, and Steve Sloppy, legendary drummer from Sloppy Seconds. And of course, for a while, I don't know when or the timeline, but Bobby Steele played in Sloppy Seconds for a bit. By the way, Sloppy Seconds, kind of an infamous, kind of obnoxious punk band that formed in 1984 in Indianapolis, Indiana. So Bobby Steele, he's 10 years older than me, which means he's 69 today. Wow. Bobby Steele is an American punk rock legendary musician. He's the current guitar player, singer, songwriter, and the sole original member of horror punk band The Undead. I've said that about 3 times now. Pardon me. It's back to this memory thing. He's been a member of a lot of bands, though, over the years. Of course, The Undead is the one that people know, him from the most. But most notably, he was the second guitarist of the Misfits. That's right, man. He joined Glenn Danzig and the Misfits in 1978, the early years. Yep. He performed on the Horror Business EP, the 3 Hits from Hell EP, the Night of the Living Dead EP, and on the night of the, well, it's actually the Missing Misfits album called 12 Hits from Hell. Yeah. So yeah, he was on Horror Business, 3 Hits from Hell, and Night of the Living Dead. Lots of records that Bobby Steele performed on with the Misfits. There's some legendary recordings out there of them, like I think Live at the Ritz in New York City, where Glenn Danzig's angry at Bobby Steele, and you can hear him saying during the show, Bobby Steele's an asshole, or something like that. It's pretty funny. I think they were having a big run-in that night. I'm not sure if that's the night that Bobby Steele quit the band or not, but anyway, one only knows, right? Bobby Steele quit the Misfits after being replaced in October 1980 by Jerry Only's younger brother, Doyle, Wolfgang von Frankenstein. And you can find 1 or 2, maybe 3 interviews I've done with Doyle of Wolfgang von Frankenstein on my other channel, The Church of Rock. All one word, right here on YouTube. Please subscribe there too. Help an old rocker make a couple pennies, because that's about what it comes down to. Anyway, back to the story. Once he was out of the Misfits in 1980, that's when he started The Undead. The band released their debut EP called 9 Toes Later. That was in 1982, and Glenn Danzig actually helped Bobby finance that record. The Undead have undergone a lot of changes over the years, a ton of personnel, lots of different people, but only one singer and guitar player. Mr. Bobby Steele. Yeah, so he's still doing it today, man. It's pretty, cool to see him still keeping it going. It's nice when some things never change, you know what I'm saying? Very nice. Steve Zing, actually, from Sam Hain, was in the band for a couple of years, too, with Bobby and the Undead. Bobby Steele also played with a lot of bands like the Times Square, the Migraines, the Graveyard School, and before the Misfits, before 1978, he was in bands like Paratox, a band called Slash, and a band called the Horror Lords. Kind of like that one, the Horror Lords. Wow, that's dirty. Dirty punk rock sleaze, straight out of Times Square, 1982, baby. Anyway, 1978. He also founded Post-Mortem Records, so he's got his own label. Smart man. Yeah, smart man, Bobby Steele. You got to do your own stuff to avoid being ripped off by the vultures that are everywhere. You have to have gratitude to the vultures because they help, promote you, but then they take your name and your likeness and do what they want with it. And they also take your catalog and say they wrote it and own it. And, it makes me nervous and fidgety thinking about that shit, man. But anyway, start your own label or just do stuff without a label and just do it digitally, I guess, right? Got to the gallery in Normal, May of 1991. It was a springtime, nice outside. I drove from Peoria, Illinois, about 45 minutes away to Bloomington Normal. Normal, Illinois. What a funny name, right? That's the town that I was on radio in for many years at WIHN 96.7 iRock FM in Normal, Illinois. So when I got to the club, I thought I'd have to wait and meet Bobby and figure out a way to corner him, or he might be doing a meet and greet. I didn't know, right? But when I pretty much walked in with my copy of his album Act Your Rage, which came out in 1989, he was standing right by the front door of the place doing something, and he was cool. I said, "Hey, Bobby." He's like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And told him I drove from Peoria. He thanked me, and then I pulled my record out and a marker I brought, and I said, "Hey, could you sign this?" He said, "Sure." And he signs the record for me. Of course, that record burned in the 2020 Alameda fires and with my major collection of vinyl and autographs. But hey, the memory still exists, right? He wasn't super talkative. He was cool, though. He was cordial. He had his black hair. I can't remember if it was the mohawk. I don't believe it was. It might have still been his mohawk with some hair growing on the sides, too. I cannot remember, but he did have black eye makeup on, possibly a black leather jacket. It's a little fuzzy. I barely even remembered this until I happened to see the Undead on YouTube earlier, and I'm like, oh my God, I saw those guys. So I did some research and found out where it was at and what year, and here we go. I interviewed him, like I said, in 2017. That was pretty cool. I never even brought up the fact that I met him because it was such a short interview. A little tidbit about Bobby Steele and the Undead. He got arrested with Glenn Danzig back in London when he was still in the Misfits. And when they got put in jail there, he suggested they write a song called London Dungeon. And that's what they did. Glenn Danzig wrote the lyrics, but Bobby Steele came up with that great title, London Dungeon, which my old band used to cover. Yeah, man. Which band did that? The Backstabbers? Or was it Divine Dirt? I can't quite remember. Anyway, that's just a little bit of story for you. I don't have the exact set list from the show, but Bobby Steele and company, they produced, man. They were a three-piece band, of course, and they brought the music, man, and they brought the punk rock, and they brought the killer tunes like Ratfink, Misfit, which is one of my favorite songs. I actually quit a metal band that I fronted for a little while back in 1985 called Emerald. We were named after the Thin Lizzy song Emerald. We were doing covers, man, and originals. We had about 4 or 5 originals that were good. Never recorded them. But we were doing like Motorhead, Metallica stuff from Kill 'Em All. We were doing Black Sabbath. We were doing Saxon. And then I told the guys one day, hey, man, I want to do this Undead song called Misfit. And the guitar player, Butch Branson, rest in peace, my dear brother. God, I miss that guy. Butch said, hey, man, I'm all about it. I like it all. Punk rock, metal, hard rock. As long as it's good, let's do it. But the drummer of the band, no disrespect, Kurt Carr, if you're watching this, I don't mean any disrespect. He was definitely and absolutely against it. He was all about the metal, and he was like, no punk rock for me. Like, he hated punk rock, which many people I grew up did. I don't get it, man. But it's just my thing. The punk rock, followed by outlaw country and metal. That's kind of my thing, man, you know. But I also like rock and roll in general. It doesn't have to be any genre. Doo-wop, blues rock, surf rock, gothic rock. I just like it all. Pop, you know, if it's good, it's good. But punk rock is the shiznit. You know what I'm saying? I know you do. The guys did Ratfink, Eve of Destruction. They did Undead, Hollywood Boulevard, Gimme Your Autograph. And yep, they even performed some Misfits tunes like Attitude and Last Caress. That was a treat to see Bobby singing those and bringing us back to the days of the Misfits. They did Give Me Your Autograph. I already said that. When the Evening Comes, they did that one, and Verbal Abuse. But again, my favorite song of the night was Misfit, man, because like I say, that song was one of my very favorite punk songs in the 80s. And if you don't know the lyrics, I'm going to go ahead and quote a couple of them for you. Walking down the street, the people that I meet, they always fucking stare, but they don't. Oh gosh, I don't even know the words anymore. Walking down the street, the people that I meet, I can't remember it, man. It goes, what are they fucking... You're seeing a meltdown on live YouTube. My friends, I am Bloody F Mess, and I'm waiting for my wheelchair to take me to my institution of your choice. You just go ahead and tell me which institution, and I'll be wheeled there immediately, and I will go to the, get some psychotherapy, and maybe I want to be sedated. Sure, sounds good about this point. It might help bring my memory back, man. But I just listened to Misfit right before I did this damn video, man, and I can't believe I can't remember the lyrics, and I feel like an idiot trying to repeat it, so I'm going to try it again. Walking down the street, the people that I meet, they always fucking stare. Never mind, man. I can't remember the words. But the Undead kicked ass that night, and at the gallery in Bloomington, it was cool that Bobby Steele signed my record for me. I wish I had photos from that, but I never even had photos that night. I'm not sure what happened, why I didn't take pictures. It was a pleasure to see those guys, and I hope you'll check out that interview that I was telling you about, my friends. I will be back soon, and hopefully I can report that I'm like 50% or 75% better from this nasty 2-month-old head cold. So many people I know are telling me they have the same thing. Isn't that coincidental? Okay, man, keep rocking. Thanks for watching, and have a blessed night. Whatever night it is, man. God, is it Sunday? No, yesterday was Sunday. I believe it's Monday night, because we did the radio show last night, The Church of Rock, on KSKQ FM. My friends, cheers.